In the recently concluded India AI Summit, Emmanuel Macron, President of France, has asked India to join the club. Now, which club he is asking to join? The club is of select countries which have decided to ban the social media for kids, generally for kids who are less than or younger than 16 years of old. So let us try to understand this in detail discussion, that why is it required and why many countries, especially from Europe, are taking this path. So first of all, to give you context of this issue, French President Emmanuel Macron, as you know, that India is hosting AI Impact Summit, where we have seen participation from dignitaries and presidents of different countries. More than 20 countries have participated here, and it is during this session he has called India to ban social media for children under 15 years of age. In this case, he has also urged India to join the club. He gave example of several countries which has followed the footstep of France, such as Spain, and before that Australia was a country which also has put a ban on the social media for everyone who is 16 years or younger. Now, this entire discussion is a part of global debate that is going on regarding balancing child safety and digital addiction on one end, and also looking at the benefit that digital media can provide, digital platform can provide to the children, especially in their studies. And also Australia has jumped and the wagon and has implemented the age-based ban in this particular context as such. Now, if you talk about the Macron's key statement, what he has talked about, so he has stated that France already has made the decision, and very soon they are planning to ban all the social network for children who are under 15 years of age. When you're talking about social network, we are talking about YouTube, Meta, we talk about the Facebook as well, Instagram. So it will provide protection against AI driven digital abuse. That is one of the rationale given by France and earlier Australia also, that children are more prone to cyberbullying. For example, they are more prone to addicted to social media, digital media, and they can consume harmful content such as violence and sexual abuse and all. And it is due to this reason France is taking such a step. France also is sharing the G7 group of 7 countries. As you know, part of G7 are Germany, UK, US, France, Canada, Italy, and Japan. So G7 is being chaired by France. There he has stated, Emmanuel Macron, that he is going to put forth this proposal to other countries also. Spain and other European nations are considering similar kind of ban. Appeal was made directly to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this regard. So now the question comes that what about India? Do we have any kind of this ban in India? So as of now, we do not have any ban, but global concern is rising. And that's why many people, the politicians also have begun to talk about this. You talk about the social media and children, the concern that we see at the global scale, it is largely due to the adverse effect on mental health that is being observed, especially among the teenager when they are consuming we can say the digital media, and they're consuming the content of digital media for prolonged duration, and then they are exposed to harmful content that we discussed, such as violence, sexual, and gambling. Also, addictive platform design features. Recently, we have seen a question was asked to the Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg that whether he really has designed Instagram as a platform which causes addiction. That means you start scrolling, you cannot stop scrolling as such. So algorithm driven behavioral tracking also is something that these platforms focus upon. That's how they are able to generate ad revenue. So what kind of content you are searching for, what kind of content you are consuming, based on that your behavior is being tracked, and based on that advertisements are being put front to you on your screen. Cyberbullying and peer pressure issues is also something that is a talk of town. Now, as far as India's regulatory protocol is concerned, currently we do not have any nationwide ban as far as the social media and particular age group of people are concerned. But in this regard, IT Minister was discussing age limits with platforms as such. This debate also is ongoing at the central level to call for age-based digital restriction, and the policy decision still is under consideration. So maybe in the future, you might see similar kind of ban in India also. Digital platforms would be restricted to particular age group of people. The younger people would be not allowed to have their account, will not be allowed to open their account. And if earlier account existed, they might also have to shut it down. That would be generally responsibility of social media platforms here. Now, if you talk about the India's data protection framework, what India's data protection framework says, how it protects the we can say younger generation, how it protects the younger generation from the ills of social media. So it has clearly made a guideline that every user who is under 18 years of age, if any content is being put forward, there need to be a parental consent. Second, there is also ban on behavioral tracking of children as such. That means you cannot look at what kind of content children are consuming, and based on that you start giving them advertisements and all. So that is something that is banned in India. Restrictions on, as we have discussed, targeted advertising to minors. So we talk about minors, even if they're consuming something on the digital media, even they're looking at some kind of content, they're finding some advertisement and all that, they should not be targeted to them. And framework has been notified but not fully implemented as such. That is the problem. So if in the future India decides to implement to safeguard its youth population means we can say safeguard its teen population from such ills of social media, this might be the key features of those programs as such. It also aims to strengthen child data privacy, so that these data related to children should not be sold or should not be utilized for any other purposes as such. Now, this is something which economic survey of this year interestingly also has noted. If you talk about the recommendation that was given in this year of the survey, it has suggested age-based social media limit as such. It has clearly highlighted that digital addiction is becoming a concern amongst the youth population, especially among the adolescent and teen population. And this digital addiction is not good, and it also has adverse effect on mental health. It also reduces the efficiency and productivity of an individual, and this is why it has recommended restrictions on targeted ads as well. Because when you are continuously scrolling on social media, you start seeing targeted ads basically based on your behavior, based on whatever you are looking there, and that is something that also creates a kind of impulsive behavior to buy stuff. We also have seen many cases where children have been involved in gambling, where they have we can say wasted a lot of their parents' money because they were influenced by the advertising on social media. So this is why survey has recommended about the restriction, proposed users limit and content filter, especially for children who are less than 16 years of age, that only certain type of content can be shown to them to their account. Any content that encourages or is related to gross violence, we can talk about gambling, sexual content, these have to be moderated and should not be shown to people of younger age. And at the same time, there should be a promotion not only from the social media side, government side, but also from the parent side, from the family members, as well as at the educational institute level, school levels, we can say, which promote the use of basic phones only to the younger students, and also education only tablets, so they do not have to consume all this Instagram and such kind of social media. As far as the development at a state level is concerned, two states we can look here in India. One is Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh, already government of Andhra Pradesh has clearly stated that they are considering social media ban for all children who are under 16 years of age. This statement is given by the IT Minister of State, Nara Lokesh. So such kind of things we can see taking place in the other state also. Social media ban for kids, Goa itself has begun to consider similar restrictions in the future. But overall, apart from these two states in India, we have not seen any state level initiative to control, regulate or ban social media for children as such. But overall, experimentation is beginning here. State level policy changes we are seeing here. So these two states might also be inspiration for other states in the coming future. It differently reflect rising parental and societal concern. That's why earlier no one was talking about it, but now everyone is talking about it. Policy is being framed around it. The governments and the politicians, ministers have begun to take interest in this regard. So definitely it could influence national level regulation in the future as well. And who knows, maybe in the future India would definitely join the club that French president has proposed here. Now, at the global scale, we should take example of Australia. Australia became the first such country that put a ban on social media for every children, every person who is under 16 years of age. And this has become a template also that other countries are trying to follow. Example, France and Spain in Europe. So platforms here, as per Australian this law, are required to block underage account. That means any account that is operated by individual who are less than 16 years, that has to be blocked. This responsibility is completely put or totally put on the social media platforms and such. Over 1 million accounts were targeted after the Australian government brought this law. An online safety amendment act was implemented. This entire we can talk about the scores was implemented under the online safety amendment act that the government of Australia passed earlier. So that's why it is being seen as a model for global action, and it is expected that in the near future, as more and more people begin to consume social media, as it begin to adversely impact the life of people, especially the adolescent and teen population, Australian law can really be a template. Key provisions as we discussed: prevent new accounts via workaround, take reasonable steps to verify age, mechanism to correct mistakes removal, focus on protecting health and well-being. Now, interestingly, if you look at all of these provisions, they completely has to be enforced by the social media platforms itself. So their responsibility and accountability has increased, and that is the reason why also when Emmanuel Macron talked about India joining the club, it would have sent shiver down the spine of many social media platforms, because we know that in India the consumer base which they have developed is so humongous, so huge. Any decrease in that would drastically cut into their revenue and profit. Now, as far as the way forward about this particular regard is concerned, obviously we have to ensure a proper balance. That balance should be maintained between child safety on one hand and other hand also digital freedom, because in today we know that today we are focusing upon digitization. Today is the era of digital transformation. So in that regard, completely cutting people also is something that we should try to avoid. Implementation challenges obviously are going to be there even in the future if countries put this, because the first problem is that how would you verify the age? For age verification, suppose you are asking about some kind of ID, so that kind of data again being shared on the social media, shared to the social media platform, is something that also carries risk with itself. So age verification remains the biggest challenge. How it would be enforced? Role of artificial intelligence in content moderation, that also should be examined, because how do you know that such kind of content should be given to which kind of user? That should be based on the age, and AI can play a very important role in segregating that such kind of contents. Industry resistance versus parental support also is something that we have to see here. It is going to be a confrontation we'll see in the near future. Possible global trend toward stricter regulation, there is no doubt about it. This is going to happen, and Australia already is leading the way in this regard, and now France, Spain has followed the suit, and now it is very clear that other European countries also are interested in doing the same. So that's all about this particular video. If you like it, please like button, share with fellow aspirants, as a subscribe channel for more such content. Thank you.